Morning all and welcome to a new video, and it's going to be the first of hopefully a three-part series here covering the Fairyhouse Easter Festival. The Fairyhouse Festival has grown in popularity recently and also grown in terms of the races it's getting. It's become a better standard three-day festival, obviously culminating in the Irish National on Easter Monday, which is now the richest jumps race in Ireland. So I'm going to take you through the 3 days, hopefully, and hopefully we can find a few winners between the two of us. I'm in Yorkshire actually at the moment on holiday, but we'll be watching it on the TV and stuff like that. So hopefully we can get down into it. So the first day is obviously Easter Sunday, and we'll start off with the Maiden hurdle at 150, and it does seem that Savannah Storm for Gordon Elliott here is going to be the favourite. I'm here on the Saturday morning, so the starting prices haven't even come out for some of the lower races, or lesser races, but Savannah Storm does seem to be the favourite, but I'm willing to oppose here because I don't think Savannah Storm is a clear stayer. A good horse on the flat, but his 2 runs over hurdles have not been devoid of promise, but he just doesn't look like he stays that much, and I think if somebody can get him off the bridle, he could well fall in again. I Am Sailing beat him last time by 7.5 lengths, but he wasn't closing on the way to the line. He was actually weakening as I Am Sailing stayed on well. So I think we can take him on here, and I'm going to do so with the Joseph O'Brien duo, Ishkabaha, who seems to be the more likely of the duo, who was second in a bumper to a good horse in Noel Meads called Daily Tiger, who was quite highly regarded, and he wasn't on back to that day either, and I just feel he could be a horse that over hurdles you could see a lot more improvement out of him. And also, this would be maybe more place propositions, but he has Joseph O'Brien has a newcomer called Whatchamacallit, who was a 60,000 3-year-old, and from a not good family. His breeding is exceptional, and therefore it would be silly to completely rule him out. Now, unfortunately, as you can get sometimes with these McManus newcomers in maiden hurdles, they kind of don't really get involved in the early skirmishes of the race and kind of run on into 4th or 5th, but hopefully he can run on into a place. So it'd be the O'Brien duo for that too. We then move on to a very trappy novice handicap hurdle, and I think the top weight here, Caltex, is going to be very hard to beat actually. I think Back Bar seems to be the other Gordon Elliott horse, but he's got some not great form in there really. Like, I know he won last time out of Clonmel, but that was not much of a race. Corla Cap seems interesting, but I actually think the other one to be going with here is Last Man Standing for Mouse Morris. Was a good maiden hurdle winner before just being exposed in Grade 3 company last time out, and also that was over 3 miles and he didn't quite look like he stayed, so that can be forgiven. It was a poor effort last time out, but back in a novice handicap he could well go close. 250, the mare's novice hurdle, like Lorena's going to win it hopefully, like barring accidents, touch wood, you know, Lorena will win this at a hack canter. I think the one to chase her home, though, could be Lacanine Leader. I know a lot of people seem keen on High School Days, but Lacanine Leader is a very likeable, improving mare who I saw win at Navan, I think, a few starts back on her handicap debut, and she won with a lot in hand that day and has gone in again since, I think in a Grade 3. So Lacanine Leader could be the one in the without the favourite market for the mare's novice, which does seem one-sided. And it could be a quick graded double for these connections, because Duke de Ginevra looks like he could take all the beating in the novice hurdle over 2-4. He's up against Blow by Blow, who was a handicap winner at the Cheltenham Festival in the Martin Pipe off top weight, and he looks to be finally getting the hang of it over hurdles, having been a smart bumper type. But I do think Duke de Ginevra just has the edge on him, and I think Scarpetta here is going a little under the radar. Ran a cracking race behind Sam Crow in the Ballymore even, to finish 4th, and could well be one to. I think Scarpetta could actually run very well here and potentially upset the 2 favourites. Move on to 355, a trappy novice handicap chase. Mullins has 3 in here. Patrick Park seemingly being the main of the 3, but I think the other 2 may have better chance of the 2 McManus horses here, Bomb Papa and Blazer. Especially Blazer, who hasn't been seen since last May, searching for better ground. He's not necessarily going to get that here, but he was not a bad hurdler. He ran a very good race to come 4th, I think, in the Coral Cup one year, over hurdles, so he's not bad. Bomb Papa's a horse with high amounts of ability, but I just can't have him. He looks awkward. He's got a very difficult head carriage, looks a quirky type to say the least. I think Bellamida Sivla could bounce back to form here. Ran a below par race behind Patrick's Park at Leopardstown last time, but before that had been a model of consistency and could run back into a place. And 4:30, we've got the Ryanair Gold Cup, the Novice Chase, Grade 1, the feature of the Sunday card. Shattered Love, I've been trying to get beat all year, and it hasn't been happening for me, but I will try to get her beat again here. And I do think the Mullins duo have the edge, because I think Invitation Only could have ran a much better, could have run very close in the JLT before making that earth-shattering mistake at 4 out. Album Photo would have come third in a very good RSA if he hadn't fallen either. And also, especially with Invitation Only, he didn't really have a race. He was pulled up before his race took place, so he could be the fresher horse there. And hopefully those two will have a bit of an edge on Shattered Love, who hopefully has run her race at Cheltenham. And then the Sales Bumper. It is a bit of a minefield, the Sales Bumper. I do think, though, you wouldn't be too far away. I think a bit of experience in some of these races, especially when an awful lot of them are unraced, could do you some good. So I think Sizing Potsy ran very well at Leopardstown, because it seemed that Who Shot the Sheriff, who he opposes again here, was very well touted for the Gordon Elliott yard. And Sizing Potsy beat him very well at Leopardstown, and I didn't see anything from that performance to suggest that this is going to change, that form will change. Perhaps Who Shot the Sheriff could come on for it, but Sizing Potsy should do as well. And Jessica Harrington is usually a very good handler of bumper winners. This in the Alan Potts colours could go very close. Mullins has 4 in there. I think Elliott has 3 or 4 as well. I think out of the unraced horses, I'd be keen on this Yukon Lil, a Fleming's first filly for Willie Mullins. Katie Walsh in the saddle always does well on Mullins' bumper horses. Terrific rider, as seen in the Champion Bumper this year, and could go quite close. So anyway, that's my selections for the Sunday card. Hopefully I'll be back to you with the Monday and Tuesday card to come, including the Irish National on the Monday. Best of luck.